Good evening, everyone, and welcome to North Penn High School's 55th commencement ceremony honoring the class of 2010. I will ask everyone in the bleachers to quietly and respectfully remain standing, and I will ask the graduates to be seated. I'm doing this because we're going to ask the cadets from our Air Force JROTC to present the flags of our country and of our state in preparation for the singing of our national anthem by senior members from the concert choir. At the direction of Governor Rendell, all United States and Pennsylvania state flags across the Commonwealth are being flown at half-staff in mourning the death of Sergeant First Class Robert Fike. Sergeant First Class Fike was a member of the Pennsylvania National Guard. He was killed while serving on active duty in Afghanistan. So that's why you're seeing the flags at the end of the stadium. The one at the tech school is not flying right now, but that's why the flags are at half-staff. When the cadets arrive on the stage, I'll signal our graduates to then stand and remove their hats for the singing of the national anthem. So at this time, I will ask the JROTC candidates to proceed to, or JROTC cadets to proceed to the stage. Graduates, please stand. Gentlemen, kindly remove your caps.
Twilight's last
Please remain standing as the senior members of the concert choir, conducted by Kevin Hamp, sing our, well, we did the national anthem. We're going to do the alma mater. And that's Matt Moyer down there.
As knights who in the olden times would pledge their loyalty to keep their honor shining and ever true to be, we enter here at North Penn High with hearts resolved to dare our noblest aim to bring to fame our alma mater fair.
Thank you. Everyone may be seated. Concert choir, you may return to your seats while the cadets are processing off the field. Good evening, families of our class of 2010, teachers, friends, North Penn School Board members, and members of the class of 2010. I know that graduation is a time of excitement for everyone, and it's definitely a time to recognize the accomplishments of every graduate seated in the field this evening, so that everyone can have the opportunity to clearly hear our speakers and our graduates' names. I ask that everyone in the stands this evening refrain from exhibiting their joy via noisemakers, whistles, etc. The most appropriate time to celebrate your favorite graduates' accomplishments will be at the very end of this evening's ceremony. I begin this evening by thanking you for your respectful consideration of every family with a graduating senior. The graduating seniors seated on the field and those who will graduate in absentia this evening have continued a tradition of excellence in academics, athletics, and school and community activities. This 55th graduating class from North Penn High School, and it's the 39th to graduate from this building, this class numbers 988. Class of 2010, last evening, your Reflections program was designed around a theme that paid tribute to your memories of school, and that was done in both song and poetry. Tonight, we are going to add to that and memorialize your education in the North Penn School District by awarding you a diploma, which proves that you've completed the journey you began back in 1997 when you entered kindergarten. Since that time, you've witnessed the turning of the century, as well as historic events in our country that were unimaginable to those who graduated from high school back in 1997. Through these last 13 years, you have proven yourselves. You've proven yourselves to be resilient, optimistic, competitive, and heirs to the traditions of North Penn High School. Whether you were competing for or winning state championship titles, that's in sports, or whether you were participating in our band, chorus, orchestra, or perhaps a Future Business Leaders of America conference, you gave us your best efforts. We have watched your talents in the arts develop. It may have been a display in the annual gallery at North Penn. It may have been a performance at one of our concerts or shows. It may have been the editing of a clip for our North Penn TV news show, or participation in last evening's Reflections program. You've amazed us as you've challenged yourselves, and you've made us proud of you. You have supported charitable causes, and you've shown compassion to those in need. And along the way, you somehow found the time to excel in academics, while also finding a way to enjoy the time you had here in high school. These are the great traditions of this high school, and they're now a part of your legacy. The diploma you will receive this evening validates the academic component of your achievement here, and it honors your proficiency efforts in reading, writing, and math. As you leave North Penn High School this evening, take the great memories that you've acquired here, take the memories of those accomplishments, and cherish them always. As graduates, always remember the message of respect for all others. That's the message that we have been focusing on throughout your years here at North Penn High School. Tonight, the entire North Penn School District, faculty, and staff join me in wishing each of you a lifetime of success and happiness. Go forth this evening with the foundations the North Penn School District has given you, expand on those skills, and follow your dreams for success from beginning to end, as we paraphrase last evening's theme. Congratulations, class of 2010. At this time, I will ask Mrs. Terry Perkowski to come forward. Mrs. Perkowski is representing our Board of School Directors this evening. Mrs. Perkowski.
Good evening, seniors, parents, and honored guests. Welcome to North Penn's 2010 premier graduation event. Seated before you this evening is a group of young people on the cusp of greatness. During the school year, they weathered beyond the norm through some political storms as well as some knee-deep snowstorms. They survived. We all did. Over the past several years, our graduating students have learned to acclimate and work within the rules, or they know they can dispute the rules and improve on them. Given lemons, our kids can make a sweet lemonade. And given a bit more snow, one of them might even build an igloo that can solve the homeless problems in our country. Our young people can and will make a difference in the world we know today. Along with their caring parents and guardians, our staff and administration have seen to their success. The high number of merit scholars carries significant weight in the number of college acceptance letters received by our senior class, as do our SATs, PSSAs, and our AP scores. All are rising every year. The level of maturity apparent in the class of 2010 is outstanding. North Penn seniors learned how to get involved. They can make it different. They are now mature enough to stand alone and do the right thing given a situational dilemma. Our graduates are now part of the solution and not part of the problem. Don't get me wrong, they know how to be part of the problem, but with wisdom and discernment, courage and fear, they will unquestionably arrive at an appropriate solution. They'll do it right. They'll make us proud. They can make our world better. They want to make it better, and just wait, they will make it better. As a member of the Board of School Directors, I am so very proud of each and every one of our students. We know they don't sit on the shore and watch. They climb right in and rock the boat. They'll even row out to the deep end just to ride in the big one. As a parent, I can attest to that. I've seen it with my own daughter, and I am more than proud of her. I am in awe. She will be successful in whatever she decides to do with her life. These young adults don't give up. They move on, and we'd better move over. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a cliche. Rest assured, our children, the guys and gals assembled before us here, are the leaders of tomorrow. They will make the history books. So please join me now in a round of applause and ovations to show your support for this dynamic and awesome group of graduates, the class of 2010. They are ready to walk out of here and conquer the world. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Perkowski. I also want to mention that we have other school board members with us here this evening, Mr. Joe Sullivan, Mr. Rick Maniscalco. They will be joining us on the stage later this evening as we proceed to give the students their diplomas. We're not quite there yet, though. At this time, I would like to invite Tianyu Shi and my salutatorians, Kim Hess, to join me on the stage. We have one valedictorian tonight, that's Tianyu Shi. His address will be followed by Kimberly Hess. When Tianyu is finished, you will see Julia Ma come to the stage, and our final student speaker will be our class president, Jeannie Perkowski.
Thank you, Mr. Hines. June 17th might be a lot of things. It's the day the Statue of Liberty arrived, the Watergate break-in occurred, and it's the day College Board gave its first ever test. But more importantly, June 17th is our North Penn graduation. So I'd like to first off thank the faculty, parents, guests, family, and others, whoever they may be, for making this moment possible and for being here. Abolitionist Robert Purvis once said, "A graduation ceremony is an event where the commencement speaker tells thousands of students dressed in identical caps and gowns that individuality is the key to success." And that, I guess, is what I hope to do. I'm assuming everyone's looking forward to graduation, so I'll fast forward to the point. Pokemon. It's a game where you collect weird creatures from Bulbasaur to Pikachu to Mewtwo to all those other things the developers have shoved in the franchise. As a former Pokemon addict, even when I might spend hours looking and training Pokemon, I did it because I got some sense of satisfaction. In Pokemon, every battle brings you one step closer to being your very own Pokemon god. Now life, it's probably nothing like Pokemon. In something like Pokemon, the goal is simple, to, quote, catch them all and to be the very best. And with enough effort, success will slowly but surely come. Pikachu always levels up when the experience bar is full. 250 Ultra Balls almost always captures a legendary. But life isn't a Pokemon game. While we may have goals, there are different ways to reach them. What's important is that these goals aren't set in stone. Rather than following a script, we write our script. As playwright George Bernard Shaw once said, life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. Now, statistically speaking, It might seem a bit ironic that this is coming from an Asian chess and badminton player who might be thinking about majoring in engineering or medicine. But before anything else, let me say that I think I like science, that I think I like engineering, and that I might want to be a doctor or surgeon. But if I end up hating all that, I'll definitely switch to something else that I find more interesting, if I do find it more interesting, like art and design or even psychology. Look at all the famous people, like Amelia Earhart, Martin Luther King Jr., or Stevie Wonder. Take even Christopher Columbus. He was already an avid sailor at 10, but you must have really had to want to go to Asia to try crossing the Atlantic in like 3 little boats. Not that we have to be famous or successful. We have to find a passion. To allow anyone else to define success for you might be like training 100 Pikachus to level 100, only to discover that you weren't having any fun. So in conclusion, I'm not saying be totally random or anything, but to take a broad perspective. As Steve Jobs of Pixar and Apple suggests, if you live each day as if it were your last, someday you'll most certainly be right. You don't have to go skydiving or anything, but the dreaded audition or the proposal shouldn't be denied too often. So I'm done. Congratulations, class of 2010. Here's the... Thank you. And now, our Salutatorian, Kim Hess.
Thank you, Tianyu. Good evening, family, friends, teachers, staff, administrators, and fellow graduates. Lately, we've been hearing a lot about how we're about to enter a part of our life that will be full of new opportunities and exciting changes. But to be honest, change terrifies me. On the list of things that scare me, change comes only after spiders and speaking in front of 10,000 people. Change means doing something different and unknown. Personally, I would much rather stick to what I'm familiar with and stay in one place, which is why I won't be moving around much during this speech. But as Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, we change, whether we like it or not. Over the years, North Penn has taught me a lot about change. As a little 6th grader, I was scared to death to leave elementary school. But by the end of 9th grade, I was ready to move on to high school. I was both excited and pretty terrified. Who wouldn't be intimidated by a school of 3,400 students? I remember looking at the map as an incoming sophomore, wondering how I would ever learn my way around this monstrous school. But I did. We all did. And now, we're ready for something new, something challenging, maybe even a little scary. The future can be very intimidating, but we cannot let fear stop us from trying new things. We have the tools to face and accept all the changes that our future holds. We've adapted before. Think about it. In elementary school, iPods didn't even exist. Can you remember the days of carrying around our Walkmans, thinking we were so cool because we could listen to our CDs on the go? And look at the internet. I remember listening to the dial tone for at least 3 minutes, waiting to connect. Now, we can open web pages in seconds and hold the internet in our hands. We've adapted to these changes so easily, so unthinkingly, which is good, because the world around us will continue to change, whether or not we change with it. In the play Inherit the Wind, two old friends, Matthew Brady and Henry Drummond, discuss how they have drifted so far apart. Brady blames Drummond for changing his worldview, but Drummond responds by telling him, "Perhaps it is you who have moved away," by standing still. The next few years will be full of excitement, decisions, and even more changes for all of us. According to government estimates, over the next 20 years, each of us will have an average of 10 jobs. And in our lifetime, we will move about 12 times. Instead of fearing these changes, embrace each one as a new adventure with a surprise ending. Most importantly, always live in the present. As Somerset Maugham said, "Nothing in the world is permanent, and we're foolish when we ask anything to last. But surely we're still more foolish not to take delight in it while we have it." So, class of 2010, enjoy this moment and all future moments, because it doesn't take long for moments to become only memories. Congratulations, class of 2010. Thank you. And now, please welcome my fellow salutatorian, Julia Ma.
Thank you, Kim, and welcome class of 2010, and families, and friends, and faculty, and teachers. Now imagine that I am standing on a threshold between high school and the future, and I look back. I see the thousands of footprints I have left behind, but then I notice something else. Stairs, ladders, ropes. And beside each of these are people, all looking in my direction. Isaac Newton once said, "If I have seen a little further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." He is considered one of history's most influential mathematicians, yet he needed the works of Descartes, Copernicus, Galileo, Kepler, and the unlikely Apple to produce his groundbreaking work on physics and calculus. And though he was born in a log cabin, Abraham Lincoln is remembered as one of our greatest presidents and the author of the Gettysburg Address. But do we know that his oral and rhetorical skills resulted from the tireless efforts of his stepmother, who taught him to read at a young age? And we also needed our parents' guiding hands to place us on our feet and pick us up when we fell, in order to master the art of walking, a motion we do now as if we had never struggled. Whether we see it or not, appreciate it or not, every moment someone is the hands beneath the stairs, the hands guiding the ladders, the hands pulling the ropes. I've always felt that in the past 18 years, people have raised me up. And while in the future, people will still raise me up, I will raise others. After today, it is our turn to support another upon our shoulders. Do not think we have to become charity donors or Nobel Prize winners. When we smile, people are cheered. When we give time and love, people feel that. When we change ourselves, the world sees that and is changed. In the bleachers today, there is one person who is neither a charity donor or a Nobel Prize winner, but is simply my little sister. My hair is falling. And as my little sister, she has been changing me slowly, teaching me what it means to be humorous and lighthearted, what it means to be part of a family, though she does no more than be herself every day. She cannot comprehend the impact she has had on others, and nor can you underestimate what your life may mean to another. Where our paths will go, I do not know. But I know this. Whatever good we do, no matter how seemingly small, the giants below us have always supported and believed in us. And somewhere in the world, someone too will need to climb our shoulders. I stand on the threshold between high school and the future, and I jump. The ground fades away beneath me, but I know I have been given the momentum to cross the sky. Thank you, 2010, and dare to enjoy the wind. Now, welcome our class president.
Tonight, June 17th, a night that seems so far away back when we took our first steps into kindergarten. Back then, all we could think about was snack time and recess, and we never realized how good we had it with half a day every day. But snack time is long gone, and nap time only comes around when you get a study hall. And half days are celebrated like holidays. But with every 222 that passed for us as sophomores and juniors, we were one step closer to today, the final day of our senior years. We stand here now in Crawford Stadium with the fulfillment that we, class of 2010, have made it. Through all the years of homework, tests, midterms, finals, PSSAs, PSATs, SATs, and every other test that has an acronym that you can think of, we are finally at our high school graduation. This chapter of our lives is now complete. And as of tomorrow, with all new doors opening, we will venture out into the world as North Penn graduates. And no matter whether the next step is college, work, the military, or any other opportunity that comes along, just remember this is the next chapter of your life and that you can make it anything you want it to be. And never forget all the hard work you've already done and have the courage to do more. I remember in elementary and middle school and hearing about how tough senior year would be. Let me tell you about our senior year. Through being Powder Puff champions, organizing out the first outdoor pep rally in years, living through the blizzard of 2010, going to Disney on our senior class trip, having 2 spring breaks, experiencing our senior prom, and tonight, graduating. Senior year was a lot of hard work, but it was also a lot of fun. And as we leave the halls of North Penn, always remember to take pride in who you are and where you came from. And take a minute to thank your family and friends who have helped you along the way. Have faith in all the great things you are going to accomplish. And as Dr. Seuss said, in Oh, the Places You'll Go, and you will succeed. Yes, you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. Congratulations, class of 2010. We're finished.
Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you, Tianyu, Kim, Julia, and all of our speakers this evening. At this time, we're going to prepare to begin the reading of the names of this year's graduates. I will ask the class officers and the president of our student government, Sophie Iger, to take their positions at the microphones. These class leaders will be announcing the names of the graduates. Legacy photographers will be photographing each graduate as they receive their diploma this evening. I will also ask the Home Office secretaries to take their places in front of the stage and the Home Office assistant principals to come forward. I'm asking the homeroom teachers, Mr. Tumalo in K31, Ms. Budwig in E112, Ms. Hubbs in A32, Mrs. Manning in F40, and Mrs. Westerland and D103 to bring forth the graduates. And we will begin the sequence with Home Office K31 right in front of me, followed by E112, A32, F40, and D103.
Matthew Michael Abel.
David Michael DeLong.
Joseph Paul Franceschetti Jr.
Julia Wing Yen Ma.
Joseph Alexander Recco.
Jennifer Marie Achavati.
Anthony Dominic DiNicolo.
James Jordan Francis.
Adam Christopher McCartney.
LaShawn Alexia Reed.
Mary Catherine Achavati.
Kathleen Teresa Dennis.
Sherry Lynn Freed.
Trevor William McBain.
Kimberly Irene Vivo Remo.
Kyle Joseph Adams.
Noelle Ann Durston.
Nicholas Shane Fretz.
John Stefan Mashieski Jr.
Bradley John Renninger.
Joseph Andrew Adamski.
Jennifer Beth DeCandillo.
Victoria Rose Fuller.
Kelsey Forrest Machowick.
Riho Abraham Reggie.
Medina Adedokin.
Christopher Roos DiDomenico.
Mark Andrew Fuse.
Daisy Corinne Mackey.
Katie Lynn Ramalley.
Philip Ji Hoon On.
Ashley Lynn Dillinger.
Nicholas Patrick Gagliano.
Colin Robert McMinn.
Kirby Michael Renninger.
Baba Femi Adewumi Akintoy.
Kyle Andrew Divany.
Michael Charles Gallagher.
Christine Mary Maycourt.
Benjamin James Ravinsky.
Charmin Actor.
Erica Nicole Diver.
John Michael Gambone.
Brendan James McGarity.
Kevin Austin Reynolds.
Nicole Marie Albor.
Allison Claire Dodman.
Christina Erminia Gampa.
Kristen Alyssa Magnarella.
Amanda Marie Ritchie.
Christina Annette Alexander.
Kathleen Marie Dolan.
Michael Edward Garbarino.
Tariq Mahmood.
Lauren Ashley Rice.
Taylor Renee Alston.
Daniel F. Donahue.
Alexander Eric Gay.
Amber Judith Maiden.
Taylor Ian Richart.
Melanie Ruth Altmare.
Kristen Ray Donnet.
Verena Nabil Gay.
Elizabeth Ann Mayer.
Khaled Rahawi.
Alexander Disraeli Ames.
Kristen Marie Dunhauer.
Catherine Eileen Gazdick.
Emily Rose Malick.
Joanna Michelle Riley.
Alicia Rose Anders.
Mark David Donahue Jr.
Madeline Elena Giutosia.
Ashley Rebecca Maloney.
Ashley Nicole Rippert.
Caroline Gabrielle Anders.
Michael Thomas Doherty.
Amanda Alicia Gendracci.
Heather Victoria Maloney.
Sarah Ann Robbins.
Stephen Wesley Anderson.
Sarah Ann Doherty.
Erica Gail Casambal Gapilano.
Lissa Catherine Manning.
Julie Nicole Roberts.
Caitlin Michelle Andre.
Alyssa Marie Dresch.
Gabrielle Paige Gerhart.
Alyssa Nicole Marcarelli.
Chrissy Shakira Robinson.
Maurice Alexander Anthony.
Scott Robert Debris.
Lucas Trent Gerhart.
Anthony Albert Marinelli.
Stephanie Ann Robinson.
Megan Elizabeth Arbick.
Kendall Isaac Dudley.
Matthew Bruix Gerhart.
Brandon A. Martinez.
Carl Marnell Rock.
Michael John Arduino.
Luke Gregory Duffy.
Melissa Nicole Getz.
Christopher John Maslansky.
Huok Jun Rowe.
Mark Anthony Armstrong Jr.
Kristen Marie Dugan.
Eric Robert Gevertz.
David Christian Mason.
Stanislaw Rolla.
Gregory Lee Ashmore.
Michael Joseph Duggan.
Wagata Mengus Gabre.
James Patrick Mason.
Jordan Daniel Rowland.
Julio Cesar Cirrus Ashrafzada.
Egan Patrick Dunn.
Cora Odessa Giampa.
Philip Masterzo.
John Alexander Romano.
Chimdindu Eugene Asonye.
Young Pham Dong.
Evan James Gill.
Garn Jovi May.
Anthony Joseph Romeo.
Matthew R. Aubert.
Shane Michael Dwyer.
John Carl Gill.
Joseph Andrew Mayberry.
E. Alexander Ronan.
Anthony Joseph Avella.
John Dean Zerko.
Thomas John Gill II.
Joy Patrice Mayfield.
Brian Timothy Rooney.
William Mackenzie Backert.
Michael Grant Eastlack.
Brianna Gillen.
Lindsay Diane Mays.
Timothy Xavier Rooney.
Sun Young Bach.
Michael James Eckerly.
Lauren Patricia Gilman.
Lauren Elizabeth Mazada.
Matthew Blake Rory.
Gaurav Singh Bagdwal.
Jonathan Edwin Eckhart.
Lauren Marie Gelati.
Ileana Rosita McCabe.
Shayna Yvonne Rose.
Nasir Baker.
Rebecca Nicole Eder.
Daniel Joseph Giuliano.
Daniel James McCaney.
Gina Lynn Rosenberger.
Shinjini Bakshi.
Scott Thomas Eder.
Stephanie West Glon.
Casey Sean McCarthy.
David Adam Rosenfeld.
James Robert Banger.
Jeremy David Edwards.
Laura Danielle Gober.
Brittany Nicole McCauley.
Anthony Michael Rosani.
Lilia Sweet Tao Bond.
Gregory Alechko.
Brandon Zachary Godshaw.
Sean James McCauley.
Michael Uwe Ross.
Jake Anthony Barclay.
John Robert Ells Jr.
Taylor Elizabeth Gettner.
Michelle Lynn McLennan.
John Joseph Rothstein.
David Joseph Barkley Jr.
F. William Emmett IV.
Jordan Matthew Gold.
Kira Michelle McCoy.
Daniel Andrew Ruck II.
Jason Stephen Bernada.
Natalie Ann England.
Jeffrey Richard Golden.
John Leah McCullough.
Scott W. Rudolph.
Carrie Michelle Barnes.
Stephanie Ann Eric.
Brendan Martin Gorman.
Sadie Ann McDonald.
Nicholas Anthony Ruggieri.
Jared William Barnett.
William Kyle Erskine.
Allison Jane Gornick.
Elizabeth Ann McDowell.
Christian Thomas Ryan.
Lucy Ann Barnhart.
Jessica M. Erthel.
Kelsey Ann Grady.
Antonio F. McElroy.
Samantha Josephine Ryan.
Brandon Levan Barr.
Megan Marie Estello.
Garrett Nicholas Graff.
Nia Elise McIntyre.
Christopher Joseph Sabatini.
Kyle Thomas Barrett.
Brandon John Ettinger.
Jennifer Lynn Graham.
Megan McFarland.
Rafi Safwan.
Raven Sidney Barton.
Lauren Therese Everett.
Rachel Marie Grandy.
Ashley Marie McIntyre.
Sarah K. Samby.
Tyler Ernest Barton.
Mark Anthony Falcone.
Ariel Edith Grant.
Casey Ann McEwen.
William Charles Sampson.
Christina Nicole Bauer.
Stephanie Erica Falou.
Mark Joseph Grassi.
Autumn Rose McMasters.
Raul Donna J. Samuel Drawell.
William Allen Bednar.
Caitlin Pearl Farrell.
Michael Patrick Gray.
Rebecca Lynn McMonigal.
Anthony Russell Sandor.
Jennifer Ann Bell.
Stephanie Lynn Farrar.
Stephen Andrew Greb.
Maura Kate McNally.
Stanley Santiago.
Francis Vincent Belletti.
Brian Patrick Fay.
Olivia Marie Greco.
Megan Christine McVeigh.
Brianna Ray Santoro.
Jennifer Catherine Bender.
Brittany Lee Fair.
David Lee Green Jr.
XIL Mendez.
Alexander Lorenjero Santos.
Stephen James Berge.
Sabrina Lynn Fair.
Jared Ahmed Green.
Dylan Mays Mangle.
Jacob Raphael Sapone.
Samuel Raymond Burnett.
Paul Gabriel Feldman.
Cody Benjamin Grime.
Lauren Elizabeth Mercer.
Stephanie Michelle Sarnis.
Kristen Elizabeth Berry.
Alan Jonathan Carl Fenton.
Jillian L. Griffin.
Darcy Marie Merrill.
Julie Michelle Saris.
Priya M. Bamani.
Carolyn A. Fergus.
Gabriel W. Griffith.
Taylor James Mazzaros.
J. Yogandra Sarvea.
Taylor Jordan Bicht.
Lauren Teresa Ferguson.
Morgan Elaine Griglione.
Farhad Mia.
Jacqueline Nicole Sauer.
Paige Alexis Bickle.
Gisela Yvette Fernandez.
Paige Elizabeth Grimaldi.
Bilal Aziz Mian.
Amanda Rose Scarfo.
Brian Vincent Bisaquino.
Joseph A. Ferrero.
Erica DeMay Grimes.
Catherine Mary Miskevich.
Elizabeth Schaefer.
Jason Alexander Blake.
Sarah Alexandra Fielder.
James Thomas Gross.
Mark Joseph Makita.
Emily Ann Schaefer.
Kaylee Ann Blutkin.
Kelly Elizabeth Fisher.
Carl Thomas Genst.
Bradley Thomas Miles.
Erica Lynn Schaefer.
Rebecca Lynn Boggs.
Ryan Alexander Fisher.
Megan Marie Gulliver.
Colin Ray Miller.
Rachel Jenny Schaefer.
Bethany Lee Bonner.
Chelsea Lynn Fisher.
Royun Gua.
Timothy Edward Miller.
Alexander Roland Schechter.
Sean Thomas Bonner.
Kimberly Michelle Fitzpatrick.
Ayush Gupta.
Vanessa Margaret Miller.
Kyle Joseph Shell.
Matthew Winford Bookheimer.
Aaron Marie Fitzsimmons.
Akua T. Gaipong.
Carl John Millanig.
Mark Tyler Shear.
Curry Trent Booth.
Sage Elizabeth Flagler.
Su Jiong Ha.
Jonathan Min.
Eric William Shermer.
Christopher Boyce Jr.
Tyler Richard Flagler.
Sean Alexander Haddad.
Kyung J. Min.
Caitlin Elizabeth Schmeckel.
Matthew Joseph Boyer.
Nancy Rebecca R. Flanagan.
Brittany Alexis Hadfield.
Brent Allen Minor Jr.
Philip Peter Schmier.
Elizabeth Marie Bracha.
Andrew William Flanagan.
Kimberly Ann Haig.
Jason Andrew Meinwieser.
Tim Linus Schmid.
Tracy Ann Brandenberger.
Brian Patrick Flannery.
Robert Evan Hames.
Audrey Spencer Mitchell.
Cody Francis Schnabel.
Paul Michael Braverman.
Amanda Christine Flint.
Owen Oxley Hamill.
Evan Ryan Mitchell.
Gregory James Snyder.
Maggie Marie Brightmeyer.
Carl Robert Flozak.
Jacqueline May Hamilton.
Noor Mohammed.
Lisa K. Shuti.
Andrew Toll Brightman.
Renee Michelle Fluck.
Terrell Michael Hamilton.
Eric William Mohan.
Kyler Evan Schwartz.
Bethany Joy Bristow.
Weston James Flurry.
Kevin Wesley Hamp.
Vivek Mohan.
Mona Kumar Seal.
Caitlin Mary Brokes.
Ryan Adams Folkt.
Kevin Michael Haynes.
Christopher Richard Moore.
Timothy Allen Cease.
Amy Patricia Brown.
Zachary Michael Killen.
Allison Lorraine Lynn Hannigan.
Lisa Marie Maloney.
Stephanie May Celia.
Chelsea Arlene Brown.
Brian Kim.
Sarah Pride Hannings.
Brian M. Mondonado.
Providencio George Serrano Velez III.
Eric William Brown.
Emily Kim.
Shauna Marie Hannings.
Stephen David Montalbano.
Zachary Ryan Sevchek.
Jordan Matthew Brown.
Hannah Christina Kim.
Brittany Marie Hanrahan.
Yejin Moon.
Caitlin Margaret Champ.
Gerard Kenneth Brooker.
Hannah Kyung Kim.
James Cameron Hanratty.
Allison Autumn Moore.
Molly Miriam Shapcott.
Douglas August Bueller.
Jay Wook Kim.
Gabrielle Ann Hare.
David Joseph Moore.
Sean Jetta Actor Sharna.
Pi Lynn Bunrout.
Jin Sun Kim.
Caitlin Margaret Harkins.
Mary Elizabeth Moore.
Marcus Edwin Shawell.
Daniel James Berkwitt.
Mindy Kim.
Mira Andrea Harmon.
Ryan Andrew Moore.
Sarah Eileen Shepper.
Eric Douglas Burlingame.
Stephanie Marie Kim.
Kevin Michael Harrell.
Patrick Charles Moran.
Mohammed Sharif.
Jonathan Tyler Burns.
Sung Jin Kim.
Dylan W. Harris.
Stephanie Ann Moran.
Jalik Ajay Sheath.
Victoria Page Butler.
Juan Kim.
John Herbert Harris.
Melina L. Mortis.
Tian Yu Shi.
Ethan Foster Buzzard.
Yuna Kim.
Kenneth Matthew Harris.
Frederick R. Morgan.
Justin Gregory Shive.
Daniel Joseph Calhoun.
Joseph Kimmerly.
Heather Siobhan Harrison.
Marquis Anthony Morin.
Ryan Lee Shuttle.
Rachel Lauren Camish.
Kelly Ann King.
Felicia Ann Harsh.
Evan James Morris.
Vincent Albert Sika.
Alyssa Marie Campbell.
Daniel Philip Kinsey.
Abigail Eileen Hartman.
Tyler James Morrow.
Evan Walter Sinkovic.
Noelle Renee Carney.
Jessica Ray Kirby.
Paul Anthony Hassan.
Catherine Rose Morton.
Lauren Ashley Seward.
Carlos David Cartagena.
Andrew Robert Klein.
Danae Elizabeth Haub.
Marissa Lynn Most.
Edward Milton Silcox.
Teresa Marie Cardy.
Shannon Marie Nauer.
Michael Thomas Hoke.
Danielle Nicole Moyer.
Regina Nicole Silvestrini.
Kelsey Cachette.
Kimberly Michelle Cook.
Randall Paul Hahn.
Matthew Paul Moyer.
Samantha Lynn Simmons.
Josue Roberto Castro.
Sienna Ray Cook.
Elizabeth Catherine Haight.
Paul Munn.
Taylor Monique Sims.
Ronald Johnson Catarazano.
Andrew Steele Coffey.
Andrew Allen Haynes.
Sharon Munn.
Nicole Eileen Singer.
Lisa Marie Cathcart.
Michael John Kohler.
Christian Daniel Hecht.
John Francis Murphy.
Michael James Skopik.
Wayne A. Celio.
Melinda Rochelle Core.
Daisy Elizabeth Hedge.
Shane Murphy.
Abigail Catherine Smith.
Steve Wen Hao Chang.
Esther Cook.
Zachary Ross Heimer.
Francis John Murray IV.
Ariel Chantrice Smith.
Timothy Y. Chang.
Taylor Page Kopp.
Leslie Joyce Hendricks.
Sylvia Muscus.
Christopher Michael Smith.
Julia Grace Channon.
Magdalena Anna Kornaka.
Craig Michael Hennessy.
Angela Musso.
Derek Thomas Smith.
Evan Michael Chapman.
Akil Korpati.
Amelia May Herbst.
Adam McInerney Meisel.
James Adam Smith.
Peter Nathaniel Chapman.
David Michael Kowalik.
Samantha L. Herzog.
Gregory Mark Nace.
Matthew Kyle Smith.
Raul Raguverson Chavda.
Devin Leonard Konerko.
Kimberly Ellen Hess.
Chandler Ty Nadig.
Sarah Elizabeth Smith.
Anthony Check.
Stephanie Ann Crail.
Fong Huang.
Neil Thomas Narzowski.
Todd Ryan Smolinski.
Shaw Kim Chen.
Stephen Thomas Kremenowski.
Elizabeth Marjorie Rose Hablitzel.
Jenna Ray Nace.
Alan Michael Snyder.
Nathan Michael Chesmar.
Deanne Marie Kraut.
Wyatt John Hodgson.
Justin David Natras.
Kira Victoria Solomon.
Perez H. Cho.
Ellen Kristen Cool.
Alex John Hoff.
Heather Nicole Neely.
Leo In Chun Sung.
Catherine Jean Christie.
Jamie Marie Culp.
Stefan Devante Hood.
Dara Janelle Nelson.
Antonia Lucia Soto.
Joseph Michael Christophers.
Christy Michelle Kupenovich.
Stephanie Paige Hoover.
Kelly Danielle Nelson.
Erica Catherine Sowers.
Ji Soo Chung.
Daniel Christopher LeBate.
John Joseph Horan.
Brett Ryan Neslin.
Patrick James Sowers.
Julie Lynn Ciabatoni.
Gregory Paul Lakoff.
Sean James Horan.
Brian Salvatore Nestor.
Sean Christopher Spurl.
Christopher Sidowitz.
Ryan Francis Lacan.
Gerard Michael Porcher.
Nancy Tran Nugent.
Sorowitz Sribunya Perot.
Catherine Virginia Claffey.
Robert Ting Lai.
Danielle Krista Horn.
Steve Nichols Jr.
Yasmin Islam Surti.
Jasmine Lulis Clark.
Christian Danielle Lamar.
Iqbal Hussein.
Jacqueline Nicole Neese.
Isabel Gabriela Stansu.
Ashley Elizabeth Clark.
Andrea Christine Landis.
Muhammad Zamil Hussein.
Justin Alexander Neese.
Shayna Ariel Stelzler.
Blair Marcus Clary.
Catherine Marie Langdon.
Ashleen Rose Housel.
Christina Volin Nikolova.
Eric Hans Stoll.
Benjamin Thomas Clayton.
Erin Margaret Langton.
Ronald Joseph Hausneck.
Caitlin Nicole Noneman.
Chelsea Allison Stover.
Victoria Renee Clegg.
Samantha Lee Lauro.
Elliot Richard Howerton.
Michael Anthony O'Day.
Dalton McCall Suarez.
Rose Cecilia Cochiero.
Timothy Ryan Lawrence.
Jaleel Najee Hoy.
Kevin Patrick O'Donnell.
Samuel Joseph Sukanik III.
Taylor Nathan Cockenberg.
Daniel Nguyen Lee.
Michael Raymond Hubbard.
Henry Alexander O'Strike.
Aaliyah Lynn Sullivan.
Neil Patrick Coffey.
Zui Kong Lee.
Timothy Joseph Huber.
Casey Lynn Offner.
Caitlin Marie Sullivan.
Elizabeth Nicole Cohen.
Stephanie Nicole Leisure.
Melissa Dawn Huffman.
Bin Na-un Julie O.
Nahi Sultana.
John Cohen.
Andrew Lee.
James Richard Hurley IV.
Ike Ohanye.
Andrew Sung.
Christine Marie Kohick.
Grace Y. Lee.
Andrew Wayne Huss.
Christine Margaret O'Hara.
Katrine Eileen Sykes.
Dominic Joseph Colangelo.
Ha No Lee.
Daik Wong.
Peter John Olson.
Mark Andrew Salaji.
Caitlin Marie Colbridge.
J.S. Lee.
David Young Wong.
Lucia Wells Honorado.
Fraz Ahamid Tanver.
Caitlin Marie Conaway.
Q. Hyung Lee.
Nicholas Vincent I. Quinto.
Anthony Michael Ortiz.
Francis Joseph Taylor Jr.
Gregory Joseph Conlon.
Shannon Unha Lee.
Nidira Sharon Inman.
Jean Marie Oscar.
Ryan Howard Templeton.
April Diane Connolly.
Woo Jin Lee.
Sharif Ibrahim Ishmael.
Jonathan Oscar.
Sarah Elizabeth Terwilliger.
Ann Edward Cook.
Yoon Song Lee.
Christian Michael Jacinto.
Jeremy David Ott.
Raul Michael Thavar.
Tyler William Core.
Matthew Dennis LaPlaca Lease.
Joshua Adam Jago.
Jason Pack.
Courtney Ann Tom.
Kyle Douglas Cordellini.
Brittany K. Lefferts.
Tyler Matthew Thomas.
Brandon Costa.
Camille Lescure.
Hyun Suk Jag.
Sarah Pack.
Charles Scott Thompson.
Megan Hannah Cotty.
Brandon Scott Lewis.
Anna Faith Javorka.
Karan Mukesh Parak.
Tyreek Wilbur Thompson.
Trevor Andrew Coop.
Jennifer Kelly Lewis.
Trevor Owen Forrest Jenkins.
Dulu Park.
Craig Earl Thompson Jr.
Julia Ann Kovith.
Jessica Ashley Lewis.
Ju Young John.
Sang Yoon Orlando Park.
Darren Jerome Toms Jr.
Penny Alyssa Coyle.
Quan Keela Lewis.
Danielle Marie Jordan.
So Hyun Sarah Park.
Rani Tong San Oi.
Jamie Deanna Craig.
Nicholas Francis Lieb.
Mercedes Angelique Joel.
Anjali H. Patel.
Nicholas Randolph Tibbs.
Tyara Johnson Craig.
Daniel H. Lim.
Ashley Nicole Johnson.
Dhruv Kumar A. Patel.
Connor Bryam Teef.
Osmond Caesar Cueto.
Brandon Lipoff.
Carly Simone Johnson.
Hema C. Patel.
Matthew Joseph Taco.
Michael J. Colbreth.
Justin Tyler Liss.
Gretchen Lynn Johnson.
Ketul D. Patel.
Brian Mark Tolton.
Benjamin Scott Curran.
Michael K. Liska.
Kelsey Catherine Johnson.
Kindrel J. Patel.
Nigel Scott Torres.
Tyler Joseph Curry.
Antonio Lowe Piccolo Jr.
Lance M. Johnson.
Krupesh R. Patel.
Jade Ashley Towns.
Evan Michael Curtin. Ruben George Losi.
Rashid Marquise Johnson.
Priya R. Patel.
Brittany Lauren Tramatado.
Sylvia Katrina Zuck. Beatrice Adriana Lopez.
Melissa Ann Jones.
Pravit Chandresh Patel.
Brandon Sun Tran.
Kyle Francis Diamore. Marie Guadalupe Lopez Angel.
Vivian Marie Jones.
Radha N. Patel.
Matthew P. Tran.
Catherine Darden. Christine Louise Lascalzo.
Taylor Lee Jordan.
Rahul G. Patel.
Teresa Tran.
Francis William De Silva. Patrick John Lotierzo.
Tyler Jarrett Jashishin.
Recall Rajesh Kumar Patel.
Vu Nguyen Tran.
Davo Kumar R. Dadahanya. Krista Marie Laughlin.
Mason Patrick Kalin.
Shivani A. Patel.
Tommy On Tran.
Delbert Andrew Daubert IV. Chelsea Ann Lowe.
Rubayat Binte Kalam.
Sharash Kirabai Patel.
Kylie Jane Troutman.
Carolyn Marion D. Elizabeth Ann Lundy.
Paul Lincoln Kaler.
Tapuzi K. Patel.
Stephen Anthony Chabanis.
Brooke Taylor Diley. Casey Nicole Lutz.
Colin Douglas Kane.
Tarak Kumar K. Patel.
Vincent Trung Trin.
Kevin Patrick Cannon II. Christopher Joseph Lutz.
Gina Marie Kang.
Megan Colleen Pellins.
Tracy Ann Antonio Trinidad.
Courtney Alexandra Davidson. Emily Louise Lynch.
Yun Kang.
Emily Hannah Penders.
Hannah Lee Try.
Tristan Frederick Edwards. Sky Lakota Lynch.
Jeffrey Walter Kaplan.
Alexander Scott Perkins.
Ashley Renee Turner.
Rebecca Louise Spitzer. Cynthia Marie Denunzio.
Koshio Katakam.
Alexander George Perry.
Kayla Rachel Usuletti.
Richard Joseph Gabler. Rita Marie Kranak.
Kevin Michael Keebler.
Abigail Ardeen Peters.
Naheem Ullah.
Nirav Nairan Harabati. Dana Lee Kruger.
Crystal Elizabeth Keller.
Kira Ann Peterson.
Jesse Tyler Upthegrave.
Brittany Nicole Heckler. Haley Elizabeth Lear.
Caitlin Marie Kelly.
Rachel Ann Petro Roy.
Travis Aaron Valentine.
Megan Elise Hughes. Stephen A. Rodriguez.
Jennifer Marie Kelly.
John William Pickerskill.
Natasha Desiree Valor.
Laura Emily Kay. Miranda Lynn Sturgis.
Rachel Catherine Kelly.
Caitlin Elise Pining.
Sean G. Varghese.
Brian William Leach. Emily Elizabeth Schrader.
Deanna Latoya Kemp.
Michelle Nicole Pfeiffer.
Kirthi Virvali.
Stephen Wing Kernley. Colleen Michelle Stiles.
Alexandra Denise Kemp.
Jillian Tacey Pilot.
Nicholas G. Vellucci.
Sean Patrick McDonald. Gina Francis Tedesco.
Nicholas Philip Kemp Jr.
Stephanie Lynn Plogger.
Lisa Nicole Vitoro.
Alexander I. Murdoch. Karen Ishmael Escarcha.
Mark Nathaniel Kengel.
Andre DeMar Poe.
Alexander Vivas.
Dennis Nevin O'Malley. Justin Robert Lechner.
Stephen Michael Kennedy.
Michelle Lynn Poole.
John Paul Vogel.
Casey Marie O'Neill. Yuk Young Lee.
Dean Christopher Kniff.
Joseph Charles Portali.
Brandon Nicholas Vona.
Vinay Ramprasad. Victoria Allison Maniscalco.
Shane Kerwick.
Megan Jean Posterero.
Michael Scott Voorhees.
Harini Tavanati Reddy. Lynn Huang Mai Nguyen.
Dara Stacy Kaiser.
Angelina Marie Prada.
Patrick Stephen Voorhees.
Anna Christine Sala. Brett Matthew Prestia.
Henry Wayne Kaiser Jr.
Ross Stanley Preisner.
Gabrielle Teresa Wagner.
Darshan Indu Kumar Shaw. Christina Elizabeth Rowland.
James Eisenhower Key.
Sarah Elizabeth Prawl.
Colby Oliver Wallachs.
Megan Elizabeth Shawley. Colin Cashel Russell.
M. Junaid Khan.
Rachel Lynn Pregler.
Valerie Beth Wallach.
Kyle Matthew Sinding. Sierra Nicole Smith.
Ryan Nicholas Kahn.
Sarzana Priam.
Erin Elizabeth Walsh.
Colleen Melissa Stearns. Ashley Catherine Albano.
Zachary Raymond Barker.
Danielle Catherine Pooley.
Michael Patrick Walsh.
Danielle Lee Triad. Craig Joseph Castilla.
Angela Catherine Blash.
Leilani Ann Pyle.
Melissa Barry Walters.
Christopher Michael Ward. Chelsea Annette Christensen.
Ashanti Desiree Clark.
Garrett David Pine.
Matthew Colin Walton.
Kathleen Yu. Fiona Elizabeth Smith Dancer.
Michelle Alyssa Day.
Syra Binti Rafuzaman.
Daniel A.C. Womble.
Thessalonica Monet Crawford. Timothy Dares Fowler.
Rochelle W. Deloche.
Naruzaman Rodman.
Angelina Marie Ward.
Sham Dada. Alexandra Nicole Hauser.
Samantha Lynn Deanna.
Tamana Rahman.
Christine Yvonne Ward.
Raymond Edward Finch Jr. Brooke Elizabeth Hare.
Kelly Ann Durr.
Alexander J. Ramo.
Mary Elizabeth Ward.
Mohammed Hawk. Jennifer Lynn Henson.
Lindsay Alexa Finan.
Scott James Randall.
Nicholas John Ward.
Tiffany Amber Ray Lotta. Margaret Nicole Hoffman.
Mackenzie Jane Fitzpatrick.
Caitlin McLean Rankin.
Anna Marie Hope Weaver.
Christina Marie Mullen. Christy Sean Malazzi.
Thomas James Harrington.
Frances Elizabeth Roush.
George Gerard Weaver.
Michael Fan Nugent. Amy Rose Jean Millar.
Alexander Philip Jordan.
Ashley Elizabeth Raymond.
Garen William Weaver.
Morgan Brianna Riccardi. Danielle Renee Piazza.
Melanie Adoma Kriebel.
Julie Ellen Williams.
Marcy Sharon Weber.
Michael James Trauger. Brenda Christine Snow.
Carrie Marie Kroll.
Kyle Robert Williamson.
Christopher Michael Wendemoyer.
Joshua Lewis Trongone. Bhavit Hitesh Vora.
Fallon K. Molesky.
Christopher Stephen Wilson.
Colby LaForest Weiss.
Joshua Chad Winokur.
Ryan Patrick Welsh.
Corey Breon Calendar.
Lauren Elizabeth Winter.
Alexander James Weatherall.
Stephanie Marie Crow.
Amber Nicole Weismer.
Michael Dwayne Wyant.
Caitlin Michelle Wolstenholme.
Daniel Michael White.
Chelsea Elizabeth Wood.
Devontae Leroy Herder.
Emily Marilyn Reith.
Matthew David White.
Dominic Marche Lee.
Jason Tyler Wrigley.
Matthew Ryan White.
Patrick Connor Sullivan.
Mara Rubletsky.
Carolyn Renee Wickless Adams.
Joseph Devin Wermern.
Heather Marie Wynn.
Ashley Elizabeth Wilkinson.
Daniel Yang.
Christopher Taylor Williams.
Vincent Joseph Yarnell. Mao Ye.
Dominique Chantis Williams.
Paul Young Yi.
Julianne Marie Williams.
Gregory Matthew York.
Carrie Lynn Young.
Antoinette Marie Yordi.
Yu Felicia Yuan.
January Michelle Humans.
James A. Zielinski III.
Callie Elizabeth Younger.
Arthur Eli Zemer.
Iris Y. Zavala Santos.
Thank you.
Laura Zhang.
President of SGA, Sophie Nicole Iger.
Secretary, Class of 2010, John George Scholl, Jr.
Treasurer 2010, Colleen Margaret Huber.
Class of 2010, Vice President, Elizabeth Lee Owens.
And the Class of 2010, President Jeannie Marie Prykowski.
That's not quite it. Still have a few more names here. I have a few students who are graduating this evening in absentia, and we want to recognize them, so I'll be reading their names. David Ian Antonacci, Andrew Aragon, Melissa Christine Comfort, Sabine Nicole Leichman, Zanaya Bree Liba, Brendan Thomas Lovell, Andrew Ryan McKenney, Ramona Ann Menser, James Tyler Murphy, Michael Craig Roberts, Cody Robert Sebring, and David Jeffrey Yost. That concludes the list of graduates' names. Six years ago, we began the tradition of putting each graduate's name on the Valley Forge Road marquee for 5-minute intervals. We will begin displaying the names of all class of 2010 graduates on the marquee on Thursday, July 1st. The schedule of dates and names will be posted on the high school website, and that will happen by the end of this month. So beginning July 1st, every graduate will have their name on the marquee for 5 minutes. We'll go through a complete cycle, and then we'll do it again. So you'll be able to see, and in past years, many of the graduates have come back and had their picture taken next to the marquee when it is lit with their name. At this time, I will ask Dr. Dietrich, our Superintendent of Schools for the North Penn School District, to come to the stage, and I will ask him to be joined by Lizzie Owens, our Class Vice President. Dr. Dietrich.
Good evening. As Superintendent of Schools, it is truly my pleasure to participate in commencement exercises. The ultimate goal of 13 years of education is to prepare you for this moment, where we can send you into the world prepared for post-secondary education and/or the world of work. So it's with tremendous pride that I and all 2,113 North Penn employees whom I represent this evening congratulate you and wish you the very best in your next stage of life. This is my 5th North Penn High School commencement, but the first in which I am serving as Superintendent of Schools. If there's one thing I learned from participating in previous graduation ceremonies, it is that the fact that at this point of the evening, virtually no one wants to hear a long speech from the superintendent. Accordingly, and so that the celebrations may begin as soon as possible after the turning of the tassel, of course, please allow me to make the official pronouncement for which you have worked 13 years to hear. And that pronouncement is, now by the powers vested in me by the Pennsylvania Department of Education and the North Penn School District's Board of Education, I hereby declare that all members of the class of 2010 whose names have been read this evening and who have been certified to me as having met all necessary requirements shall from this point forward be known as graduates of North Penn High School. Congratulations.
Congratulations, class of 2010. Please join me in turning your tassels from your right to your left. We're done!
let it go. Let it roll right off your shoulder, don't you know? The hardest part is over, let it in. Let your clarity define you in the end. We will only just remember how it feels. Our lives are made in these small hours, these little wonders, these twists and turns of fate. Time falls away, but these small hours still remain. Let it slide. Let your troubles fall behind you. Let it shine till you feel it all around you. And I don't mind if it's me you need to turn to. We'll get by. It's the heart that really matters in the end. Our lives are made in these small hours, these little wonders, these twists and turns of fate. Time falls away, but these small hours still remain. All of my regret will wash away somehow, but I cannot forget the way I feel right now. In these small hours, these little wonders, these twists and turns of fate. Yeah, these twists and turns of fate. Time falls away. Yeah, but these small hours still remain. They still remain. These little wonders, all these twists and turns of fate. Time falls away, but these small hours, these little wonders still remain.
Taylor Jordan, we have your diploma on stage. Taylor Jordan, diploma on stage.